Hello, and welcome to week 7. Can you believe we have made it through this journey and are in our last few weeks of this class? So hold tight and steadfast and believe that you will make it through this next 2 weeks to successfully complete this class. So I hope those are encouraging words to you and you realize the importance and value to persevere and hold tight and to continue to push forward as you are able to get through um, completing this course. Understanding and recognizing, and do not want to go without mentioning the sensitivity and difficulty in a lot of the information that we discussed. And so, as I said before, I really tried to take measures to focus more on the practical aspects as well as you were processing the theory based aspects in your weekly readings. And so, as we approach week 7, you have a few more weeks of assignments to complete. And so, I pray that you continue to see the value in the information that you're being given as you work in this field or work in education, as an administrator, as a counselor, as a psychiatrist, whatever the case may be, as a nurse, whatever the case may be, that this has hopefully enlightened or brought insight to a greater perspective and understanding of what being in these circumstances entail. Some of you expressed from firsthand experience, some of you had family members, and some just have had the opportunity to know someone or be blessed in helping someone through these type of situations. And so again, as we move into week 7, we are looking at your reading assignments of chapter 13, and that entails religious influences on family violence. A lot of interesting information in this chapter, and it covers all types of potential acts of family violence in relation to religion, from confessions and how priests are hearing that information and what their responsibility is in dealing and how they suggest for direction and prayer and forgiveness in relation to that, as well as corruption within the religious system and churches and individuals being treated improperly, and told that it was based on a spiritual perspective of duty and honor and respect, as well as clergy, pastors, priests giving advice to individuals as to why they should not say something or report these types of acts, or those that are in marriages that are not safe and violent, or abusive, are told to remain and to pray for change. And so I think this is great insight, as well as the reading includes articles, and one article being Christianity and the experience of domestic violence. What does faith have to do with it? So, what I really appreciate about this study is it continues the research and study with supporting evidence into looking at multiple articles. So, as you can see here, the articles that draw on the results of what this study represents, it's not just based off of a few perspectives. It has a lot of broad inclusion as far as the articles that were used to come to the outcome and findings and conclusion. So I encourage you to read through this study as it provides perspectives, um, survivors of abuse. It also continues on in great detail the perspective of men who participate in that, and their participation in intervention programs, their participation in follow-up programs. And what was interesting in this article was that it shows that they may take an interest to go ahead and participate, but oftentimes it's not following through or not showing up, only showing up in times of crisis. So really good perspectives on this type of topic. In addition to supporting the textbook, clergy responding to domestic violence, and I gave a little bit of overview of that, our community response as a whole. So this starts talking about what can be done, and then going into what does faith. And so a lot of times what will happen is individuals are so drawn to faith to help support as they go through these challenges. However, bitterness, if change does not occur because their actions necessarily um, don't assist in supporting that lead to that change, then they might blame others and may lose faith in regards to really relying on protection and safety from those circumstances. So really good insight on the overall concept of domestic violence, abuse, and Christianity. The second article that you will need to read is Barriers in the Utilization of Domestic Violence Services Among Arab Immigrant Women, Perceptions of Professionals, Service Providers, and Community Leaders. Again, it really gives a lot of information in regards to many of the discussions, many of the myths, perspectives, and beliefs that are occurring in regards to um, just the whole idea of violence and domestic violence among Arab immigrant women. And so it provides just additional information into barriers, into how they go about getting what assistance and support is needed. And so I think it will provide really, really good insight, and it complements the video that you will have to read as have to review as well. And so this breaks it down, not too long of an article, but still gives very pertinent and valid information. So as I said, there's an additional video in addition to my lecture that you will need to review, and it is about an hour and a half, a little less than an hour and a half, but it provides you insight to a forum that took place on religion and violence. So it truly complements the textbook as well as the articles this week. And so, as I said before, not wanting to give a PowerPoint with just additional graphics of the theory base of what you're reading. I think you're getting that and capturing that, and I want to truly believe that you are um, in your readings, and that's what I want to see in your discussion and as you complete your week 8 actual presentation as well, to see those readings and making sure, or references to the readings, and making sure that you are truly getting a clear understanding of all that the information that we've reviewed over these past 7 weeks. Even in your discussion, I appreciate and value when I see you using insight to support either your experiences or what you have learned in relation to the discussion. So thank you for that, and I ask that you continue to do that as you complete these next few weeks. What was interesting about this video, and I encourage you really to take the time to listen to it, even if you listen to it in your car on the way, I mean, it's really just people speaking, so you don't necessarily have to watch it. Um, but it does provide information in regards to this, where we are right now from an international perspective, and what was um, touching and sad all at the same time is you will hear mention of the San Bernardino County terrorist attack in this video. And so to see where we are in the state of our world today, and never imagining that you would experience such a detrimental um, impact to a population, to a group, to a society as a whole, and then to firsthand be a part of that, and how you learn to manage the aftermath that comes with that, and all the sorrow and the pain and the hurt, and then to fast forward and think that you continue to encourage being strong and looking forward, but to have the constant reminders of what has occurred and what will be life changing and impactful in so many ways, more than any one individual or the group of individuals that may have been behind it could ever imagine. And so, what I share with you is that I personally was involved, not in the actual attack, but the aftermath of what the attack entailed. And this was a San Bernardino County employee that was valued and appreciated by San Bernardino County public health employees, welcomed so much to even have family events with this individual. However, was being programmed, was being taught other beliefs, and took it upon himself and his wife to do a very, very, very horrific type of attack. In that, my boss at the time, her husband was at that meeting. Her husband, being a protector that he is, um, was injured and killed. And just having to be involved and really trying to be a support system, it's just unimaginable that someone can have such strong beliefs and think that they are bringing good to our world by attacking and taking so many lives. And so this is not something that we just talk about in perspective or idea or history as an opportunity to research and study. These are real life, impactful events that cause people to not ever be the same, to cause people to lose their family members, to cause people to have to make decisions about their lives that they never thought that they would have to ever face or imagine. So whether it's a loved one that you have welcomed into your home and just not known them to be who they are, whether it's mental health issues and they're not um, aware of their capabilities, whether it's psychological, whether it's generational, whether it's the possibilities go on and on and on of what it could be. But I just hope that if nothing else, this class is bringing more awareness and more understanding to all these things that are happening, and how can we better support, pay attention, understand, talk about, listen, connect resources, identify needed resources, connect the right forums, continue the right discussions to bring what is needed to possibly minimize or mitigate the detrimental impacts that these are having for generations to come, for families, for a lifespan. And for those of you that have experienced these things firsthand, I just encourage you to find those support systems and the circles of trust that you can continue to work through, and to be a testimony to help others to build further trust, that we can begin to conquer some of these challenges and gain the courage that is needed to address these challenges in our world today. And so, although you believe that I am just asking you to take the time to give your thoughts and opinions to some of these discussions, it's so much more than that. I really want you to have an opportunity to have a voice, to have a thought, to have an opinion, and not just based on your personal experiences, but linking that to the theory of information that you are learning about, and really being able to do something with that and begin to make a difference in those areas that you have opportunities to do so. So in this week's discussion, as we begin to close out, I hope that you can and have over this past 7 weeks, or moving into the seventh week, um, reflected, processed, um, made change, set new goals, set new or recognize accomplishments that you have been able to surpass. And I want you to take these next few weeks and really examine your own experience and faith beliefs. I'm looking for your thoughts about the influence of religion on violence among family members. Do you believe that some religious beliefs and interpretations of religious books are used, misused to justify violence? What role, if any, do you believe the church should take in educating parents and families about abuse? How might a human service professional assist the church in educating parents and families about abuse? What do you believe should be done with churches who deny or justify abuse that happens in its congregation? So this happens all day, every day, you guys, and I really want to hear your insight and thoughts. And so I want to see the perspectives from the textbook as well, of how you see yourself in this role. Many of you have expressed your personal experiences, so I'm really looking to hear how you plan to use that as paying it forward to help others and bring more awareness, and recognizing that it's not just one person with that voice, and how can we connect resources in the right way that we are bringing the information to those that need it. In your textbook, you should be reading about those that feel as though they will not be believed, they will not be trusted, they will not be safe, and they are told otherwise, rather than having the courage to come forward and say what their circumstance is. Some of them have created it and then don't know how to get out of it. Some of them have abandoned their family and friends and don't have a support system to know how to get out of it. So, how, as a human services professional, can you assist those that are in the church, believing in God, having spiritual faith, having full trust in those that are guiding them and instructing them, and may be the abusers, may be the violent ones, and may not be the right source of that protection that is needed? So what will you do, and how will you go about making sure that you're giving the support that's needed? Really, really looking forward to this discussion. And so hoping that you are reflecting on it. And I'm asking you to do the reflection because as we move into week 8, that's when it's a full presentation on everything that you have learned. And again, some of you have contacted me with challenges in life, and understandable, and thank you for reaching out to me ahead of time as I asked. But in this 8th week, I don't have room for projects and critical assignments that are late. There is a very set restricted time limit for me to get everything graded and get your grade in. So want to make sure that we have those timely. So this week is only a discussion board and 1 chapter reading, 2 articles, and 1 video to review, including my lecture. I'm trying to keep it short so you have all the information that you need, but it's pertinent to what you need for this next week moving into week 8. Week 8 will probably be a quick lecture of just encouragement for you as you move into your critical assignment. But remember, I need your final critical assignment in week 8 no later than day 5. So I'm going to touch on that really quick as I close out this lecture for the week. So let me move you back over here so you guys can still see me. Just trying to give you that visual as this is online, as we all know. So your week 8 is really, really important. You will have reading assignments, and I'll touch on that next week. But what I do want to touch on right now, just to give you a quick overview, and I did that a few weeks ago in the lecture as well, but want to make sure you are aware of your critical assignment. So went over it in the lecture a few weeks ago, but want to make sure you understand what is required. And with that requirement, making sure that you understand you have to pass this. It has to be timely in order to pass this course. All these components must be included. Introduction, slides 1 through 2. Family violence, slides 3 through 7. Law and ethics, slides 8 through 10. Slides 11 through 13, historical context and current issues. And then faith integration and conclusion in slides 14 through 15. Set your structure up this way for your PowerPoint to make sure that you do not miss anything. I need to see your readings. I need to see your overall experience for this class. That is what this project is intended to do. It's to explore and articulate the basic types of family violence, to analyze the various historical and cultural factors related to family violence, and to examine your own experience and faith beliefs through the lens of family violence. You are required to use all reading materials required through the course, as well as the videos, my comments, all of those things. And you have to run this through TaskStream. Make sure when you run this through TaskStream, this is the safe assign. I have to make sure you are quoting your sources correctly. If you do not include them, it appears that you are plagiarizing. I know you all will not do that, and I know that is not something that you are intending to do. However, in your critical assignment, it becomes very crucial because we do not have time for correction. So I need you guys to make sure that when you are doing your PowerPoint, you include any resources and citings you are using. Many of you do a good job of this, but some of you have struggled, and I've given feedback. And so I just ask that you make sure over these next 2 weeks that you are giving it your time and attention. I encourage you to look at the rubric. The rubric will give you insight on what I am looking for. So go back and make sure every component of all those areas are included in your presentation. As the tip I gave before, start your slides out with these titles and include the information specific to these titles. That will help you keep it honed in and covering what is needed for this final project. I know you all will do a wonderful job, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. I'm thankful for this learning opportunity, and I just pray that God just gives you the guidance, that gives you the protection, that gives you the words, the time, the energy, the patience, the understanding, all that is needed for you to continue to move through and complete this class on task, on time, with a successful grade. So I leave you with those words of encouragement, and I just want to say that I'm so blessed to be a part of this journey in your life. And as always, outreach to me if you need me. and we will work through this together. Take care, and God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye.